to Bear Lifestyle, the podcast where we talk about taboo topics to make them normal and acceptable. I'm your host, Simona Spark, and I'm so happy that you are here. We are about to get naked by stripping away insecurities, judgments, and all kinds of limitations to reveal the essence of who we really are. Bear, bold, authentic, radical, express. Let's go. Welcome to Bear Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome. Let's start with celebrations. I'm celebrating myself and I'm celebrating you and everyone who watches and listens to this episode. Celebrating with water today. Cheers, cheers. Welcome back for those of you that have been here before. And a special welcome for those of you that landed here for the first time. I'm so excited you are here. This is the space where we want to talk about taboo topics. And I want to remind you that this space is for you. So please do engage, leave your comments. Let us know what are your insights on the topics that we are talking about here. And let us know what are the topics that you are curious about. You could leave them in the comments or you could email me directly to transformation@simonaspark.com, or the fastest way to get in touch with me is on Instagram. Just DM me there at Simona Spark World. Now, hopefully that you have an amazing Easter for those of you that celebrated Easter, and for all of you, hopefully you have an amazing weekend and a great start of the week. Mine was quite busy. I moved from Colorado to Texas, so tuning in from Texas today, and I want to have a conversation today about dating, specifically how to date again after a breakup, after a marriage or 2 or 3, focusing on what could be the main 7 things that we could focus on to set up ourselves for success into meeting a new person, but most importantly, how to heal our relationship with men or women. So for the simplicity of this conversation, I will refer to women that want to date men, but keep in mind this applies to any gender, every sexual orientation. Just identify yourself who you are and who you are intending to date. So let's see what could be the 7 major things that we need to be aware of. Number 1, self-reflection. Everything that we want to change, it starts with self, right? So in order for women to heal their relationship with men, and again, for the simplicity of this conversation, I'm going to use an example, women who wants to date men. So for women, in order to heal the relationship with men, the first step of healing journey is self-reflection. Really take the time to look into your own patterns, your own belief system, your own habits, your own values, and past experiences that you had with men, because those experiences for sure have influenced your perception of men and your perception on what your relationship with men should look like, should be like. Personal healing is really the foundation of healing the relationship with anyone and with anything. Like really look into your own past experiences and most importantly, look without judgment. Understand that the person that you used to be is not the person who you are today. And we're gonna circle back to this because all those major 7 things that I selected for you today are intertwined and they're influencing each other. So let's go to number 2, communication. Effective communication. Again, it's a fundamental thing in order to build and repair relationships. All kind of relationships. It could be with your friends, with your family members, but we focus here on like how to get back into the dating, how to trust men again, right? It really is up to you to learn how to express your thoughts, your feelings, your desires, how to communicate them. We need to let go of how things should happen, because that's a very tricky one. That's the one that have us in a spot where like, how come he doesn't know? Well, because he doesn't read minds. So in order for the person next to you to know what you think and what you feel, you really have to tell them. And if you clearly communicate what is it that you think and feel and desire, and then you see no results as if you haven't said anything, then that's a really good filter out for that person, right? Communicating our thoughts and feelings is not sufficient. Part of communication is also listening, active listening. Because as we are here to do our part to let somebody into our life, into our hearts, into our souls, we also want to learn about the other person. And in order to do so, we need to learn how to actively listen. Because we don't read mind, we cannot assume that we know what's going on in their brains or in their feelings. So communicating clearly and also listening actively. Number 3, boundaries. People get tired of talking about boundaries, but you know what? Most people do not have boundaries, or do they not have strong boundaries, or they forget to update their boundaries. As we grow and as we evolve, we have to look into our own boundaries and upgrade them so they are congruent with who we are and what we want and what we feel and what we believe and what we desire. So setting clear boundaries, and most importantly, communicate them. Again, it's up to us. It's not up to the people that are walking into our life, because they're strangers until we get to know them, right? Setting boundaries, it's your own responsibility to protect and conserve your own well-being. I do want to stress here the number one reason why people don't set the boundaries or they don't upgrade their boundaries is because of the fear of losing someone. Is the fear of not being liked by the person that we want to communicate our boundaries with. And again, let your personal boundaries be a natural filter for the people who are walking into your life, or for the people that are walking out of your life. It's time to learn how to set our boundaries. It's time to learn how to say no. It's time to stop compromising on our own detriment, and just to see the power of boundaries, because these are the foundation for creating a safe space for personal growth, for the relationships expansion, and for safety and intimacy, all levels really. So setting boundaries, number 3. Let's move to the number 4, which is empathy and compassion. As you learn by now in your own personal healing journey how to have empathy and compassion for yourself, like go through the healing process, go through the past experiences with compassion, right? No judgment, and understanding where you're coming from, and understanding and accepting that you did the best decision that you could in that moment for who you used to be. Now guess what? Same is valid for the person in front of you. And I personally have very little empathy and compassion for fully developed adults, in their 40s, 50s and such, that they behave like little children. So while I could sit here and have a judgment about it, just giving myself as an example, right? I could also understand that they never did the healing work. I could also be open to having a conversation about it to understand where they're coming from. So now that being said, it's up to me to decide if I want to date this person. If I want to be their partner, their romantic partner, or if I want to be their coach and help them in the healing, or if I want to be both. So do you see how this is intertwined with my personal journey, my self-reflection, my personal journey of healing, it has to do with my personal boundaries. Like, I get to decide who do I date. So number 4, empathy and compassion, it's coming down to really having an open mind and an open heart to understand what this person is coming from. Because it's not easy to be vulnerable, right? It's not easy to admit that we don't know something, or we haven't developed a skill yet, or we are still in pain, or we are still dealing with some past trauma. So again, in order to create safety in a relationship, we need to hold the other person through their vulnerability. How we do that? With empathy and compassion. Number 5, forgiveness and letting go. Once again, I want to remind you that we do not forgive people for them. We forgive people for us. Forgiving the other person, it doesn't mean that they are right about what they've been saying or doing to us that hurt us. Forgiving them means that we no longer are available for carrying all that heavy feelings with us. So then again, you get to set your own boundaries and to decide, what are you letting go of? Are you letting go of the issue that has been in the conversation, or are you letting go of the whole person? Invite them out of your life. It's up to you. You get to decide that. Practicing forgiveness is crucial in any relationship, really. And again, it's starting with forgiving yourself for your past experiences and your past decisions. And then learn how to forgive the person in front of you. And what are you forgiving them for? Tiny little things that are insignificant and they're just easy to tackle in through an honest, vulnerable conversation? Or are you forgiving major things and you're compromising yourself? So just pay attention. Find your own balance. Nobody could tell you what is it to forgive and what is it not to forgive. What is it to let go of? When do you let go of the issue? How many issues do you let go of instead of letting go of the whole person? So again, finding your own balance and redefining your boundaries as you grow and as you evolve. So this is where number 6, it's very entertained with this one, seeking support. Most time, we cannot make decisions alone. We just need someone to talk with about, right? So when I say support, it could be as simple as a trusted friend. It could be a therapist. It could be a coach. It could be a psychologist, whatever feels right to you. And if you feel that coaching is the space that might help you clarify the situation that you might be in, and you are looking for what could be the possible next steps to navigate a new relationship, then book a call with me. If you've been here before, you know that I always have a few free calls available. So just open the show notes and book a free call, and let's see how can we help you move forward today. So seeking support is very important. Most people don't do it because they don't think that they deserve to do it, or they think, oh, yeah, I've been to a couple marriages, I know how this works. Do you? Do we? Most likely not, because when we are in it, we don't get to see everything. We need some fresh eyes and from somebody from outside to reflect to us some things that are in our blind spots. So seeking support. That was number 6. Yes? Yes. And now, lastly, but not less importantly by any stretch, number 7, embracing vulnerability. Yes, we talked about it before, and vulnerability is throughout the whole steps. It takes vulnerability to do our own inner work, to talk with our partner, with our new date, with our friend, with our therapist, with our coach, to talk about the issues, to talk about the things that we are fear, to talk about the things that we are uncomfortable about, right? It takes vulnerability. And I could only wish you to meet someone who is also willing to be vulnerable, because vulnerability and the capacity to hold the other person through empathy and compassion is what is creating the safe space in relationship to evolve, to develop, to grow, and to expand. I will go to say that vulnerability is key to deepen not only the relationship, but the intimacy in the relationship, and to really strengthen the emotional bond between the people that are in this relationship. And this is the one that, again, especially grown adults, they've been through several relationships and marriages, they stop because they don't want to appear weak or unexperimented or whatever. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. Vulnerability is a sign of courage. And I will go even further to say not only courage, but it's a sign of showing the other person that I'm trusting them with this piece that I'm opening myself about. So then it's up to them to betray my trust or to hold me through my vulnerability, again, with empathy and compassion. So these are the 7 major, I will say, things to focus on if we really want to heal our relationship with men, if we are really open to go back into the dating, to open ourselves to meet the person that we want to share our life with. And now that I give you my take on this, I'm very curious, what are your major points that you are focusing on? Leave them in the comments, email me directly if you wish at transformation@simonaspark.com, or DM me on Instagram at simonasparkworld. So this is all I have for today. I wish you an amazing rest of the day, a fabulous week, and go ahead and have a bear experience. See you next time. Mwah. And this is where we landed. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you enjoyed the show, make sure you leave me a review to let me know. For more bear experiences, please go to simonaspark.com/bear and follow us on Instagram at simonasparkworld. I can't wait to have you back. Until then, be bear, bold, authentic, radical, expressed. See you next time.